A lot of times when Donald Trump does things that are a first, people say it's unprecedented, it's never happened before. But is this so different from when the last administration and Joe Biden would kind of quietly put out through sources, senior officials at the White House and the newspaper, that during the Hunter Biden case and during the classified document case, he was really mad at his Attorney General, Merrick Garland?
I don't think that Joe Biden ever hid his feelings towards Merrick Garland publicly or privately. But I do think what is unprecedented here is the factions in the MAGA base that this is causing. And it makes me curious how long Pam Bondi will last. Because if it's not this, it's the hate speech that she messed up on earlier this week and not releasing the Epstein files. This is creating a huge faction within the MAGA base. And it will be interesting to see how long she lasts and then who replaces her.
One of the worst things about Trump and his administration, of the many, many, many terrible things about him and his administration, is that the fact that they are incompetent. Wholly incompetent. It is a problem that's pervasive in every federal cabinet, among every cabinet official. And because Donald Trump himself is a narcissistic child and also incompetent, he cannot ever shoulder any portion of the blame at any point. So all of his underlings and sycophants have to jockey back and forth with which one of them is going to be blamed at the moment. And right now, it would appear that Attorney General Pam Bondi has unfortunately had her number drawn.
In a new Truth Social post, Donald Trump writes, Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time. All talk, no action, nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. Then we almost put in a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, a woke rhino who is never going to do his job. That's why two of the worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit, that we had no case. No, I fired him. And there is a great case, and many lawyers, and legal pundits say so. Lindsay is a really good lawyer and likes you a lot. We cannot delay any longer. It's killing our reputation. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. He's asking Pam Bondi to appoint Lindsay Halligan, his personal attorney, currently serving as his assistant in the White House, as U.S. Attorney for Eastern District of Virginia, so that she can prosecute his political opponents.
Like I said, incompetent. I don't know what the hell kind of crazy diabolical tweet that was. It seems like it was maybe meant directly for Pam Bondi, but he accidentally sent it to all the rest of us because we have this sort of dementia president that blurts everything out of his head directly into our nightmares. But what is clear is that Donald Trump has every intention on using our Justice Department, the United States Justice Department, as his personal hit squad. But in the defense of the president, he told us exactly what he was going to do when he was running for office. He said explicitly that that's what he intended to turn the FBI and the DOJ into, his own personal hit squad. Now, somebody else, on the other hand, swore, and I mean literally swore, that she would not operate that way.
It has been very clear that the attorney generals of both parties have established clear policies to ensure the White House doesn't tamper with criminal investigations and prosecutions. Do you agree with this statement?
Senator, yes, I believe that the Justice Department must be independent and must act independently. The number one job is to enforce the law fairly and even-handedly, and that's what will be done if I am confirmed as the Attorney General.
So you will provide an assurance to every member of this committee that the Justice Department will only follow the facts and the law, and the White House will play no role in cases investigated or brought?
Senator, it will be my job, if confirmed as Attorney General, to make those decisions. Politics will not play a part.
So by politics will not play a part and the Justice Department will remain independent under her, she of course meant that she will, under the direction of the president, the direct direction of the president, she will investigate his enemies on a whim. But of course we all should have seen that coming from 2 miles away. Donald Trump in the second term has made doubly and triply sure that his cabinet is stacked filled to the roof with yes men and of course a few token yes women who will not stand in his way of getting through his evil plans and certainly won't be able to tell him no. So as such, it would appear that some people, including the Attorney General here, have a hard time matching their actions up with their previous words. Take a look.
It would not be appropriate for a prosecutor to start with a name and look for a crime. It's a prosecutor's job to start with a crime and look for a name, correct?
If I am Attorney General, I will not politicize that office. I will not target people simply because of their political affiliation. Justice will be administered even-handedly throughout this country.
I think the concern is that weaponization of the Justice Department may well occur under your tenure. And we want to make sure that that's not the case, that you remain independent, that you remain able to and willing to tell the president no.
So Pam Bondi, while getting confirmed, was asked specifically about this exact scenario, only back then it was hypothetical, and right now it's the actual reality. And she said back then she would do the exact opposite of what she turns out is doing now. So Pam Bondi, once again, has proven herself to be a liar, just like she did with the whole, oh, I'm going to release the entirety of the Epstein files. Oh, wait, never mind, my boss is all over these files, so psych, can't do that. Tulsi Gabbard, go out there and call Obama a traitor and Hillary Clinton a drug dealer. Maybe that'll work.
Well, one thing is obvious. I know Pam Bondi well, the Attorney General. We've known each other over the years. She doesn't move without Trump. If she's fired, she's the fall person, because there's no question she was directed by Trump to say what she said. She would not have, period, full stop, done something independent of the president on the Epstein files.
So Trump is the person that's...
So one has to acknowledge that. So then it begs additional questions. Why was she told not to release the files?
So there was Gavin Newsom declaring that Pam Bondi does not move independent of President Trump. Sky blue, water wet. Now, she stupidly does not move independent of Donald Trump because she suspects, or at least she thought, that would protect her from his ire. She might have made a miscalculation.
I believe in the freedom of speech. If I am Attorney General, I will not politicize that office. I will not target people simply because of their political affiliation. There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society. We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything, and that's across the aisle.
Whoops. Did I say that we believed in free speech? No, well, it turns out I meant we believe in speech that we like and everything else is hate speech. Does that fly with MAGA? Are we now anti-hate speech? I don't blame Pam Bondi here because I can't keep up with what MAGA believes either. It's contradictory and it's changing, it's a shifting goalposts.
Something is not right. Nothing we are being told is true. And the strangest thing is that Pam Bondi, who is a complete loser and a tool, is trying to use the assassination of Charlie Kirk to lay the groundwork for hate speech laws in America. The very thing that Charlie was fighting against. They all just got right to work trying to pass laws. Well, Charlie Kirk is that, so now we got hate speech is something. Exactly what he's messaging me about that he doesn't want to happen. They're trying to use his death to justify. So to be clear, that's the feds telling you that they want to pass speech laws, which will basically just give them the full power to go after you for wrongthink, okay? And they're doing it in the most disturbing way ever by going after Charlie Kirk's legacy and using his assassination to say, oh, well, now we've got to get hate speech done.
So the deification of individuals always takes an unusual turn, and certainly it happens most frequently to people of historical context, like Jesus or Lincoln, people who existed prior to the age of Twitter. Certainly, there are no recordings that exist of Jesus, and he was not tweeting things, nor was Lincoln. You have to look in this big old book called the Bible to find out what Jesus actually said. Charlie Kirk was alive like 3 weeks ago, and he was an online presence, so we have a documented record of things he said, including about hate speech specifically. And Pam Bondi still feels comfortable enough to just completely flip it about face because she's a liar. And here was Candace Owens, who's also a bit of a liar, or no love lost there, that's crashing out over it because Pam Bondi is trying to obfuscate the truth about what Charlie Kirk believed, including he didn't believe in hate speech because a lot of things he said would fall under the category of hate speech. But I love it when the right wing fights. When the right wing fights.
What kind of a question is that? It was completely teed up in a way that sounds like a lefty. Are you going to crack down on hate speech? What the? That is not a question that a conservative would ask. I don't understand what's happening there. And then for Pam Bondi to not say, whoa, sister, we on the right do not crack down on hate speech. We don't believe in that nonsense. There's this pesky document called the Constitution that doesn't allow it, but we don't even agree with it in principle, was kind of extraordinary. And I actually tweeted out this morning, there's no way Pam Bondi does not know that hate speech is protected under our Constitution.
So Pam Bondi has caused this whole meltdown over hate speech. And here was Megyn Kelly, who absolutely adores hate speech. I mean, the First Amendment. And she's not alone. There are many now conservative commentators who are just going to town on Pam Bondi for speaking out of line, for saying something they don't agree with.
Everything Bondi has done has been a monumental failure. She botched the Epstein investigation, as well as we all know. She claimed the DOJ had uncovered tons of evidence in the FBI's New York field office that incriminated a lot of people, and then told us that we can't see any of it because it's too graphic. She claimed she had a client list on her desk and nothing, and then we're told that there was no list. She staged that embarrassing and incomprehensible stunt with the Epstein binders. And now in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder, she's talking about arresting people for hate speech. And by the way, not that it's the most important part of her response, but Josh Shapiro's house was not burned down because of hate speech.
So Matt Walsh even was bothered beyond Charlie Kirk with Pam Bondi over Office Depot. There was an employee who got terminated because they prohibited someone from printing out a picture of Charlie Kirk for visual, and Pam Bondi weighed into that, and apparently that wasn't correct enough for Matt Walsh, so he's eating her alive for about 20 minutes. So Pam Bondi cannot catch a break, unfortunately, or fortunately, in case you agree with me. The right wing is imploding over this issue. First, we're free speech absolutists. Then all of a sudden, hate speech is the thing that we should fight against. Then anybody should be allowed to turn down service to anyone. Then no, if you disagree with us, then we whatever. And Pam Bondi is flip-flopping like a catfish out of water. It all stems from the fact that Donald Trump is an incompetent leader who picks incompetent underlings. And Pam Bondi, who has no core whatsoever, she's got no principle that she follows, along with most of the members of Donald Trump's cabinet. So her core slides with public opinion. Well, the problem with that is public opinion keeps sliding around. And if you're an individual who opines on political affairs, you will catch yourself in a contradiction. Now, most people with brains are savvier than what Pam Bondi appears to be. They don't find themselves directly contradicting themselves right clip after the other. And it's only been 9 months worth of this administration, believe it or not. It had been 17 years. We're not looking at 17 years worth of commentary done by Pam Bondi, and we're cherry picking statements here and there and finding a few contradictions. Pam Bondi is riddled with contradictions, one after another. She's riddled with lies and deceptions, one after another, almost uniquely so in this administration, which is a shocking reality. But at the end of the day, when you vote for people who do not have principle, when you vote for people who are only interested in themselves, this is the result that you get. And I encourage nobody from the left to take enjoyment out of this, because she is our Attorney General right now. And right now, the policy of the DOJ is to attack Donald Trump's enemies and to attack speech. So buckle up, America.